What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the size of your dream? Most people never give themselves permission to want more. They settle, not because they have to, but because they believe they should. They've been told to be realistic, to aim lower, to be grateful for what they have. So they shrink their dreams to fit the life they think they deserve, instead of growing into the life they're truly meant for. But deep down, there's a whisper, a quiet knowing that they were born for something greater, that the dream never really went away, it just got buried under fear. Here's the truth. Your dream doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't even have to make sense to you yet. It just has to matter. You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to say, I want more. That's not selfish. That's self-respect. Because when you dream big, you're not running from your life, you're running toward it. Your brain is wired to respond to vision. When you visualize a goal with intensity, your mind starts to build it into your reality. It triggers focus, drive, clarity. This isn't fantasy. This is biology. The problem is, most people never let themselves dream that way. They edit their vision before it ever takes shape. They talk themselves out of it before anyone else even gets the chance. But what if you didn't? What if you let yourself want something massive, something beautiful, something that scares you? A big dream will challenge everything you think you know about yourself. It will push you to grow, to fail, to get back up. That's the point. Dreams aren't supposed to be comfortable. They're supposed to wake you up. Because in chasing them, you become someone new, someone stronger, someone real. Fear will try to convince you to play small. Doubt will tell you it's too late, that you're not enough, that it's too risky. But the greater risk is living a life you never chose, built around limitations you didn't ask for. You're not here to survive. You're here to create, to lead, to live with fire in your soul and purpose in your steps. When you dream big, you show others what's possible. You give permission for courage, and you begin to live, not just exist. This isn't about fantasy. It's about transformation. It's about refusing to let fear dictate your future. It's about deciding right now that your dream matters, that you matter. So stay with this, because what's coming next will give you the tools to silence doubt, break through fear, and turn that dream into something real. This isn't just motivation. It's the spark you've been waiting for. The reminder that the life you want isn't impossible, it's waiting. But it starts with a choice, to believe in the dream that refuses to die inside you. If your dream is real, expect resistance. Not just from the world, but from within. The moment you decide to reach higher, to want more, your doubts will scream louder. They'll disguise themselves as logic, as caution, as responsibility. But make no mistake, those voices aren't protecting you, they're imprisoning you. And they've been stealing from you for far too long. One of the most powerful forces holding you back isn't failure. It's the fear of being judged. That invisible fear shapes your choices, silences your voice, and convinces you to play small. You start editing your life based on how others might react. You hold back, not because you don't believe in your dream, but because you don't want to be laughed at for having one. But what if you stopped caring? What if you stop handing your power to people who aren't living the life you want? They don't get to decide what's possible for you. They don't see the vision in your heart. They don't feel the fire in your soul. And they never will. That dream was given to you, not to them. You're not here to meet their expectations. You're here to rise beyond them. The need to be liked, to be accepted, to fit in, it feels safe, but it's a cage. And if you're not careful, you'll trade your purpose for approval. You'll sacrifice your greatness just to blend in. You have to understand this. Judgment is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of someone else's fear. People mock what they don't understand. They criticize what they're too afraid to chase. When they see you dream big, they're reminded of their own excuses. And sometimes they'll try to dim your light so they don't have to face their darkness. Let them. Their opinions are not your responsibility. Your growth is. You don't need anyone to believe in you before you start. You just need to believe in yourself enough to keep going, even when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when no one understands. That's where your power is born. Not in applause, but in silence. Not in validation, but in conviction. You are not built to shrink. You are not built to bend yourself into shapes that make others comfortable. You were built to rise, to expand, to take up space, to lead with heart and move with purpose. So stop asking for permission to be great. Stop seeking approval for your ambition. They will judge you, whether you rise or stay still. So rise anyway, because the moment you stop fearing their opinions, you start unlocking your potential. You start moving from hesitation to action, from doubt to certainty, from playing small to living fully. And once you taste that freedom, real freedom, there's no going back. There's only forward, boldly, loudly, unapologetically. Go on, be extravagant, be bold, and all of a sudden, when you slip up and doubt, you open the door to remember. There's no going back. There's no going back. There's only another chance. Remember, you are not alone. The real test of how much your dream matters isn't found in how excited you feel when you think about it. It's revealed in what you're willing to do when no one is watching. Because dreaming is the easy part. Action is the hard part, and not just any action. Consistent, disciplined, relentless action. The kind that shows up when you don't feel like it. The kind that keeps going when it's hard, boring, exhausting, or uncertain. That's where transformation begins. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what builds you. Discipline is not punishment. It's power. It's the daily decision to choose your future over your feelings. Because your feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you to stay comfortable. They'll whisper, do it tomorrow. But discipline says, do it now because your future depends on it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you take back control. You rebuild trust with the one person who matters most. You. You don't rise by waiting for inspiration. You rise by choosing effort when ease is an option. By waking up early when comfort says sleep in. By pushing harder when your body says stop. Discipline is what separates those who fantasize from those who actualize. It's what carves greatness out of ordinary days. It's what builds the momentum that carries you forward long after motivation fades. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you're becoming. And when you cast that vote again and again, your identity shifts. You stop saying, I want to be disciplined, and start living like someone who already is. That's how real change happens. Not by waiting for the right moment, but by creating it with your habits. Your excuses are loud, but they're not stronger than your purpose. Your distractions are tempting, but they're not more important than your vision. And your comfort zone might feel safe, but it will never satisfy you. Because deep down, you already know the truth. The life you want is going to cost you something. It's going to cost time, energy, sacrifice, and focus. But what it gives back is worth everything. When you build discipline, you become dangerous. Because now You're not relying on fleeting emotion. You're not waiting to be rescued by motivation. You've learned to move regardless. You've learned to honor the dream, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And that's when the shift happens. From wishing to becoming, from hoping to doing. This is the moment you stop negotiating with weakness. The moment you stop playing tug-of-war with procrastination. The moment you decide that the dream is worth every drop of effort, every ounce of sweat, every second of repetition. You weren't made for easy, you were made for more. So own the discipline, build the routine, embrace the struggle, because the dream is still alive and it's waiting for you to prove you are too. You can train your body, you can train your habits, but until you train your identity, nothing truly changes. Because you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. And if you still see yourself as average, stuck, weak, or incapable, no amount of effort will last. You'll self-sabotage, you'll pull back, you'll unconsciously find ways to confirm the old belief. That's why change doesn't start with action, it starts with identity. You have to stop living by the old script, the one written by fear, by failure, by other people's labels. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not what they called you or what they made you feel. You are what you decide to become right now. That decision is yours. Not someday, not when it's convenient, not when you feel ready. Now. The strongest people didn't start strong. They started broken, scared, doubted, dismissed, but they rewrote the narrative. They stopped asking, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "What if I succeed?" That shift in belief changed everything. Because once you believe you're meant for more, you start acting like it. And once you believe you're meant for more, you start acting like it. And when you act like it long enough, the world has no choice but to respond. You don't have to feel confident to start. You just have to be courageous enough to reject the old identity. The one that kept you small, the one that kept you silent, the one that convinced you to wait. Let it go. Let it die. Because there's no space for both the old you and the real you. Only one gets to survive. And the one who survives is the one you feed. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're proving something. Not to others, but to yourself. You're building evidence that you're capable, that you're strong, that you're becoming the version of you who doesn't back down. Identity isn't found, it's built. Through repetition, through challenge, through commitment, through choice. You have the power to define yourself, but only if you stop outsourcing it to the world. Don't wait to be labeled worthy. Decide that you are. Don't wait for someone to call you disciplined, focused, powerful. Call yourself that now. Then live it until there's no gap between who you are and who you believe you are. This is how transformation begins. Not with a grand moment, but with a quiet decision. A decision to stop identifying with fear. A decision to stop letting the past speak louder than the present. A decision to become the person your dream requires. You're not pretending, you're becoming. Step by step, thought by thought, action by action. No more waiting, no more doubting. This is your moment to claim who you are. Not later, now. Because the life you're fighting for can only be built by the strongest version of you. And that version is waiting for your permission to rise. There comes a point where you stop thinking and start doing, where the dream stops living in your imagination and starts demanding action in the real world. Because no matter how vivid your vision, it means nothing without movement. You can write the plan, you can picture the outcome, but until your feet hit the ground and your hands get dirty, it's just a wish. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. And it's built one step at a time. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions. All you need is a willingness to move, to start small, to do it badly, to show up when you're unsure, when you're scared, when you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, no one ever feels ready. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a choice. A decision to show up before the fear talks you out of it again. Every step you take forward quiets the voice of doubt. Every action builds proof that you are capable. Momentum is not a gift. It's created. And once you generate it, everything begins to shift. You start to feel stronger, more focused, more alive. You begin to realize that the dream isn't some distant thing you hope to reach. It's something you're actively building right now with your effort. Waiting is the enemy. How long do you think it's going to take? I know for me, it was building up. It started with a thought. What if I win? It started with a thought. And how long do you think it's going to take to build up the momentum, to build up your effort? Waiting is the enemy. Waiting tells your dream it's not important enough. Waiting says your fear matters more than your purpose. But when you move, when you act, you take your power back, you stop being a prisoner of hesitation and start becoming the architect of your reality. And that's when the real transformation begins. Not when everything goes right, but when you keep going even when it doesn't. You're not here to just imagine a better life. You're here to live it, to fight for it, to build it from the ground up with sweat, sacrifice, and a level of belief that cannot be shaken by failure. Because you will fail, you will stumble, but none of that defines you. What defines you is that you didn't stop, that you didn't give in, that when it got hard, you moved anyway. There's power in showing up, in taking one more step, in refusing to stay where you are just because it's familiar. When you were in a band, when you were in a victim, when you were in school with your friends, second-guessing what it is you say you are, you will fail. You will stop the moment that you start to rise. You will fail. You will stop the moment that you start to rise to peak in amazing. To peak in amazing. The moment that you start to rise to peak in amazing. Growth lives in action. Confidence is forged in action, and results are earned through action. You don't rise by thinking about it. You rise by doing something about it. So take the step, speak the truth, do the work, start the thing. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. And when you stack enough real steps, something incredible happens. The gap between your dream and your reality gets smaller until one day you look around and realize you're living the life you once only imagined. You didn't come this far to stop now. You didn't wake something deep inside you just to let it fade. That voice pulling you forward isn't a fantasy. It's your future calling. It's the life you were meant to live, breaking through the noise of doubt, reminding you that you were built for more than just survival. You were built to rise, to lead, to shape your own outcome with hands that don't quit and a heart that won't back down. This world will test you, not to destroy you, but to prepare you, to sharpen you, to make sure that when you finally hold the life you've been working for, you're strong enough to keep it. That strength doesn't come from easy days. It comes from every moment you wanted to stop, but didn't. Every moment you were tired, but moved anyway. Every moment you felt alone, but kept believing. You've already done the hard part. You've started. You've decided. And that single decision has the power to change everything. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to have the loudest voice or the biggest platform. You just need to stay consistent. Stay hungry. Stay locked in on the vision that won't let go of you. Because dreams are not achieved by luck or chance. They're earned through grit, patience, and absolute belief. Not belief that things will always go right, but belief that you will not stop, even when they don't. There will be days where progress feels invisible, where it seems like nothing is changing, but it is. Growth is quiet. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's in the smallest shift, a new decision, a different thought, a stronger reaction. That's the proof. You're not who you were. You're building a new standard, one that doesn't settle, one that no longer entertains weakness disguised as comfort. You have a responsibility now, not just to the dream, but to the person you're becoming because of it. The version of you that shows up on time, that finishes what they start, that doesn't need permission, applause, or reassurance to keep going. That version of you is powerful. And the more you align with that identity, the less the old one can hold on. The breakthrough you want is already in motion. It's in your habits, your thoughts, your energy. It's in the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's in your refusal to go back to sleep on your own potential. That fire inside you, that relentless pull to do more, be more, live more. It's not an accident. It's a command. And your only job is to obey it. Every day, no matter what, keep pushing, keep moving, keep building. Because the life you're chasing isn't a dream anymore. It's a dream calling. Because it's yours. It's in relationship. It's in your health. It's in your family. It's in your house. It's in your life. You're chasing something, and it's your life. It's not an accident, it's a command. Keep pushing, keep moving, keep building, because the life you're chasing isn't a dream anymore. It's in your heart. It's a decision, and you're making it real, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment.